And joining us now is Representative Franz Castro. Good evening, Congresswoman.
Good evening, Mai, and to your viewers.
Congresswoman, how confident are you about your case, despite the pronouncements of Duterte's former legal counsel, Salvador Panelo? He argued that the former president did not mention your full name and that he only expressed desire and not intent. And ergo, there's no threat.
Well, as far as confidence is concerned, we are confident na this case is strong against the former President Duterte, and as to the evidences that we have. So we have this video talaga na yung sa kanyang program na gikan sa masa para sa masa. If only Attorney Panelo see or saw the whole video, no. So it is me that's being talking about in that in that program. So ako talaga sa buong programa yung tinutukoy na pinagbantaan ng dating presidente.
Well, aside from that interview over SMNI, may iba pa po ba kayong ebidensya na magpapalakas sa reklamo ninyo laban sa dating Pangulo?
Yes, the video itself ay tingin natin ay malakas na, no, but meron kaming mga iba pang mga ebidensya ng mga red tagging, ng mga pronouncements against us o against the Makabayan, and especially nung mga sinasabi niya during doon sa kanyang mga programa, and even when he was a president, yung mga pagrarant niya. So meron kaming mga ebidensya for red tagging and vilifications against him.
Well, ma'am, how is your safety? Were there any threats po ba na natatanggap kayo, or threats from after the statement of the former president and after you filed a complaint against him?
Well, yung physical threat, wala pa naman akong nararamdaman. Pero yung mga social media, mga trolls, or even mga supporters siguro niya ng dating presidente, I have received some mga threats and even sexual harassment through social media, yung degrading my personality, etc. So yun yung mga natatanggap natin, May, na mga threats. Pero yung physical ay wala pa naman. I'm still looking for my safety always.
Congresswoman, would you have any idea why Mr. Duterte has come out or suddenly come out against you and attacked you with these statements? Do you think may kinalaman ba ito after you actively worked against Sara Duterte's confidential and intelligence funds for the OVP and the DepEd? Or do you see some other reason?
Yes, I think he was very hurt doon sa pagtatanggal or the realignment of the confidential funds of the office of the Vice President and the Department of Education. So yun yata, no, dahil itong mga Duterte na to, mukhang sanay sila dito sa mayroon silang discretionary fund, mayroon silang pork na through these confidential funds, kaya talagang galit na galit talaga, and even talagang nagbanta na grave threat sa akin. So yes, wala naman akong magagawa. I just doing my work as a legislator, and it's part of my job, no, to scrutinize the budget. And na-found out na natin na meron talagang anomaly or merong illegality dito sa paggamit ng at pag-request niya ng confidential funds in 2022, where in fact wala naman talagang expressly found budget dito sa 2022 election.
Well, the former president did not only attack you, but the House itself. He also criticized the institution. At ikinagalit po ito ng iba pang mga mambabatas, at maaring nagtulak ito sa iba pang kapartido niya sa PDP laban na kumalas. And from 65 House members in 2022, the party is down to only 15. So I'd like to get your thoughts about what does this show about the Duterte influence in Congress?
Well, nakita natin yung bumababa na no yung influence ng mga Duterte sa Kongreso. At siguro na-realize din ng kanyang mga kapartido na hindi na siya presidente at wala na siyang influence din, no? Kaya tuloy ganyan naman dito sa Kongreso, no? Malaya naman yung ating mga kasamahan, mga representative to go from one party to another kasi para sa kanilang constituents. So yun, it could be impressed dito sa mga nangyayaring lipatan ng mga partido from PDP to other political party. So nakikita natin na talagang malaki yung naging pagkakamali at setback nitong nangyaring itong confidential funds kay Sara Duterte. Kaya gano'n na yung nangyayari.
Mm-hmm. Well, with fewer numbers in Congress and the granting of bail in the last drug case of Senator Laila De Lima, and also there's a drug investigation at the ICC. What do you think are the chances for the ICC probe?
We're happy for the yung pagpapalaya kay former Senator Laila De Lima, and I think we have filed our resolution to the House of Representatives so that the administration of Marcos Jr. would cooperate with the case of in the case in ICC of former President Rodrigo Duterte. So I think naman meron kaming pag-asa na ma-hear yung aming resolution sa appropriate committee. And I hope also that the present administration would allow and would cooperate na with the ICC, considering talaga na ang daming mga namatay through EJK with this bogus war on drugs ng dating president.
Congresswoman, what do you think is the political future of Duterte and his allies? And also, more importantly, given these developments, I think marami po ang nagtatanong ano po sa tingin nyo ang tsansa ni Sara Duterte sa posibleng pagtakbo sa 2028 presidential elections.
Wala pa na akong mapipredict. Marami pa rin naman siyang allies sa Senate, sa mga local government, especially in Mindanao. At medyo malayo pa yan. Pero dahil sa CIF, bumaba yung yung kumpiyansa siguro ng ilang mga politiko at ilang mga local government units sa kanya. Kaya hindi pa natin alam pagdating ng 2028 yung tsansa na manalo siya for higher position. So, di ko pa rin masasabi.
Mm-hmm. Well, ang sabi nyo nga, you're glad that the case is progressing and you hope that the former president will face the charges and participate in the preliminary investigation. This has been set for December 4 and 11. But what do you think are the chances that the president himself will show up? Or the former president?
Well, I think the probability of not showing up doon sa preliminary investigation, kasi technically pwede naman siya magpadala ng kanyang counsel to represent him in the prosecutor's office. Pero siguro matutuwa yung taong bayan kung nandoon siya at maharap niya yung kanyang kaso. No? At kung talagang haharapin niya yon, mapapakita niya talaga sa publiko na kung meron siyang guilt or not. So yun naman yung pakiramdam ko diyan. So dapat dumating siya ron.
Mm-hmm. Let's go back to the release from detention of former Senator Laila De Lima. What are your thoughts on her temporary freedom, Congresswoman?
Well, as I've said, no, natutuwa kami sa bahagi namin sa Makabayan Black. This is an overdue na dapat na naibigay na sa kanyang bail no, nung temporary freedom. Dahil nakita naman natin na wala talagang ano no, wala talaga yung mga witnesses ay talagang mga nag-recant na, at dito sa third case malamang ay ma-dismiss na yung kaso. So sana makuha na rin niya yung justice, at yung mga taong nagpakulong sa kanya ay ano rin ano, makasuhan na rin. Ah, para naman makuha niya yung justice kasi, and even yung mga colleagues niya nga sa Senado noon ay talagang hindi rin siya sinuportahan, na kahit na mag-participate siya during the Zoom meeting sana, mga committee hearing, ay hindi siya pinayagan. So talagang sobrang injustice ang nangyari sa kanya, kaapihan. At ito nga, sana no, sana maka ano si former Senator De Lima maka-recover doon sa pain na nararanasan niya ngayon, doon mula sa pagkakakulong, at makabangon from that. Okay? So, inaasahan natin din siya na talagang later on ay makakasama rin namin siya.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening, Representative Franz Castro.